Champions League Wednesday preview. Chelsea host Real Madrid. Who will come out victorious as Thomas Tuchel and Zinedine Zidane compete for a place in the final? We got Jimmy Conrad, James Benge, betting tips, analysis, predictions, and much, much more. Qué Golazo Champions League Wednesday preview begins right now. Hey everybody, welcome to Qué Golazo, our Champions League Wednesday preview as Chelsea host Real Madrid. Jimmy Conrad wearing his Roma shirt. How are you, sir?
I'm very excited. Jose Mourinho's taking over, breathing in the fresh air now of Jose Mourinho. I don't know how long I'm going to feel this way about him, but I'm going to take it right now at this moment.
I'm going to give it till September, but well done. James Benge, how are you?
I'm really excited. We've got a Mourinho derby alongside our Mourinho news, Chelsea and Real Madrid. Love it.
That's it. Mourinho's everywhere. So true. But welcome, everybody. Qué Golazo Champions League Wednesday preview. I'm so excited. I can't even say it. Chelsea hosting Real Madrid. It's 1-1 here. But, you know, this is a difficult one to figure out, and we're going to try and do it together. James Benge, let's begin with you because I just want some updates on the squad, specifically the home side. What are we looking here as they host Real Madrid?
The real potential issue is Mateo Kovacic's fitness. As we speak now, we're just waiting for updates from Thomas Tuchel, but a pretty strong squad. He basically rested the much of the first team for the win against Fulham at the weekend. I don't think he'll be playing Billy Gilmour and Hakim Ziyech in midfield. So this is as near to strong, as near to full strength as Tuchel could wish, as we talk right now. It's good news, and obviously Real Madrid as well. Bad news for them that Marcelo is available. He is. I think Tuesday he's doing Spanish election duties, and Wednesday he's letting whichever right winger Chelsea play slip in behind.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Well, what about Rafael Varane? I'm hearing, did he travel to the squad? He's not. So that's a big deal. And Sergio Ramos, I was reading some hints there. Did he travel?
He certainly did. I'm just checking on Varane as we speak.
Yeah, Varane's not in the team.
Yeah, so it's Ferland Mendy, Sergio Ramos, and Valverde. They are all back in the squad. So, you know, whether they play or not or how many minutes, that will tell what will happen on Wednesday. But Jimmy Conrad, initial reactions to this game, a big game for both sides. By the way, Chelsea, the women's side in the Champions League, I wonder if this club can do the double here. 2 finals, incredible. Jimmy, this game, pretty exciting. What do you have?
Well, I'll say with the women first. I think they're the favorites, so we'll see if they can end up doing the business in the final. In the 11 games that Tuchel has managed at Stamford Bridge, he's only given up 5 goals. And I say only 5 goals. That doesn't seem that great at 11 games, all things considered, but all 5 came in 1 against West Brom. So they're obviously very good at home in particular. One of the best defenses in all of Europe right now, if not the best. Man City, I'm sure, would want to be a part of that conversation. If Madrid could wear West Brom jerseys just for 90 minutes, then I just feel like they've got a better opportunity to get a result here. That's my really bad joke with regard to this. I will say, though, this game sets up very nicely for Chelsea because they like to sit back, they like to absorb pressure, and they can hit you on the counter. It's just a matter of whether those guys on the counter can score their opportunities. And I'm looking at you, Timo Werner. So it's just they're going to get their chances because at some point Madrid are going to have to extend themselves. It's really hard from a wagering standpoint because I don't know who's going to start. So that makes it a little bit difficult, especially from Madrid's standpoint. So Sergio Ramos comes back into the team. Obviously, the guy's an incredible presence. The guy's a winner. He races the game of everybody around him, and I think he'd be up for it. That said, he hasn't played a full match in 2 months, and that he's 35. Sure, we could say experience and all that stuff, but he's going to wear down at some point. He's not going to be as sharp. You think he's going to be able to track down Christian Pulisic if he hasn't played in 2 months? It's just going to be a little bit harder for him, I think. I believe actually the bigger spot to be considered is Ferland Mendy. If he plays, they're just going to be able to transition a lot better than they did in leg 1. I can't say enough how hard it is to watch at times a right footer at a left back position when you're expected to go forward and from a left back position, and Nacho's not that guy. And if they have to put Nacho there, or if Marcelo, who did join the team for this, is going to be put there, as Benge says, he's a liability. They're going to find ways to get in behind him. I would not start Marcelo at all unless you're chasing a goal and you need to bomb forward and make it happen. Then he's great for that. You have to have Ferland Mendy so key. I actually think in some crazy way, Ferland Mendy might be more important than Sergio Ramos because Nacho and Militao in the middle have already proven they can do the business. They did it pretty well against Liverpool. So, and then the right back, there's no Carvajal. Vasquez is hurt. So is it Odriozola, who is also prone to make some mistakes? Maybe not as savvy as some of the other players that were been playing there. Fede Valverde, do you put him there instead? Do you want to try to take that? He can do the work, and he could probably defend pretty well the numerical advantages that Chelsea try to gain out wide. But so there's a couple question marks that I have, and I'm still going to obviously give you guys wagers because that's what I do. But I just think it sets up really nice for Chelsea to counter this, and all they need is one. I mean, they could 0-0 their way into that. And when these knockout rounds started and they had Porto first, I just thought, oh, they're just going to 0-0 their way all the way to the final, and now they're going to probably get close to doing that because they don't need to chase the game, whereas Madrid does. And Madrid only got one shot on goal in the first leg, and that's scary to think about. Now, obviously, Karim Benzema works some magic to put it in the back of the net. But anyway, those are my thoughts.
No, the Mendy, Sergio Ramos one is really good point. And I think that all depends on the flow of the game. If we're going to have this kind of hesitant stop-start, maybe set pieces, maybe Sergio Ramos is where really he can deliver. But in terms of countering and pushing forward and exploiting the width, that's where Mendy's going to be key. I feel, James Benge, this game is going to be kind of in terms of flow, the opposite of the first leg, where the first half was like exciting, rain, etc. And then in the second half, it got a little more controlled. I feel like this one is the other way around, where the first half, feeling each other out, being a little bit cautious, and then the second half, when teams really have to, at least Real Madrid has to venture, it will get a little bit more open. What do you think about this game?
I like that. That's a really good point. And what's really interesting is how do Madrid kind of the real risk they might have. I think that Timo Werner will start as the centre forward, and for all his difficulties putting the ball in the net, and fun fact, he's one of only 2 players in Europe to miss 2 shots worth higher than 0.8 xg, which is as near as you get to an open goal. I mean, that is basically the xg of an open goal. Only 2 players in Europe's top 5 leagues have missed 2 of them this season. He's one, and Kevin Lasagna is the other.
What a name!
What a name.
Makes me
if
hungry.
Madrid push forward, Werner has shown against Liverpool, against Real Madrid, that he can still get in behind. Sometimes he'll just cut the ball back rather than miss. And Chelsea can get a goal that way. But, and then you kind of have to factor in, can you trust Ramos, after, as Jimmy said, after 2 months out, in a back 4? Is that something you feel comfortable with? Obviously, in the first leg, they matched systems, but they looked like they did not know how to play that system, which is odd because it's one Zidane had used a bit. I think this is going to be really tactical and really cagey. Everyone has rushed to give Thomas Tuchel credit for how tactically interesting and innovative he is. I think we should say the same about Zidane.
Absolutely.
It didn't work against Chelsea because I have to say, I think Chelsea are just a slightly better team. I think they're outstanding at defensive possession. They have the best midfielder on the pitch in N'Golo Conte. Their back 5 is drilled to within an inch of its life and just doesn't let you anywhere near the penalty area. As Jimmy said, Real Madrid had 1 shot on target. Chelsea have conceded 2 goals in the knockout rounds. They're arguably the 2 best goals scored in the knockout round. So it's going to be really, really cagey, as you say, Luis. And then 10 minutes to go, we're going to, Sergio Ramos is going to have a part to play in this game, isn't he? Because it's Real Madrid, it's the Champions League, it's Sergio Ramos,
I'm glad you brought that up, Benge, because him to score a header is plus 1,600. And I'm almost considering putting $5 on that because he just finds a way to be a hero. I mean, he just knows how to win. And I don't know. I've got a couple bets that are all over the place for everybody that you need to consider. I kind of like the draw. I'm working backwards a little bit. I could see a 0-0 after 90 minutes or a 1-1 again. The draw in under 2.5 goals is plus 265. I like that one a lot. And then I like this one. This one was interesting. Under 2.5 goals in total for the whole game and 4 to 6 cards given out. Yeah, there were 6 cards in leg 1. That's plus 230. I kind of like that one. I think they will get chippy. I think there'll be some cards. If you like the clean sheet, everybody, plus 155 for Chelsea to get a clean sheet. And Real Madrid, we shouldn't sleep on them defending either. They're currently on a 19-game unbeaten streak. They've gotten clean sheets in 5 out of the last 6. They haven't been necessarily great going the other way. And this past weekend against Osasuna, you had Militao have to score a header in the 63rd minute to get the lead. And then Casemiro was the one that put it away. So it's not like all their attacking players are lighting it up right now. And that's obviously a red flag as well. Plus 260 for Real Madrid to get a clean sheet. If you see that 0-0 exactly, plus 750. I thought, all right, maybe I'll throw $5 on that. And then there was a really interesting one. I don't know if you guys, how chippy you guys think it's going to be, but if you want to bet, and it's the first time I've ever really considered it. If you think a card's going to be shown from the 1st to the 15th minute, it's plus 275. Card shown like 16th to 30th minute, plus 130. So I figure the referee will maybe allow some fouls to happen, early on, and then he'll start to give out yellows in the 16th to 30th minute, which is what we saw in leg 1. I feel like that's that. But if somebody comes in hard, tries to set the tone in the first 15 minutes, it's pretty good value, plus 275, and then kind of drops from there. But those are the ones I'm looking at right now. And again, it's really hard to advise with complete certainty without knowing Madrid's starting lineup. Whereas with Chelsea, I think we have a pretty good idea what they're going to do and how they're going to look.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm thinking, that first minute to 15-minute yellow card, I think that all depends obviously on the overall approach of Real Madrid and how they begin. But it's a pretty good bet because they might go for it and just be, instead of being cautious, just trying to be a little bit more aggressive. But it all depends on that. Just to one thing that James Benge said, and James, please add to this. Just N'Golo Kante to me is like two players. It's like having a 12th man. He's that good in the midfield. So I don't know what the answer, especially Modric is fantastic. Casemiro, of course, Valverde is back in the squad. Obviously, Toni Kroos. But N'Golo Kante is so good at breaking up play. How are they going, Real Madrid, figure that out? And when I'm looking at my predictions here, I actually have them scoring. It's just that I see Chelsea, weirdly enough, going for a 2-1 win here. Do you feel that both teams will score, James Benge, in this one, or do you think it's going to be a tight affair?
When we did, I'll save my prediction so we have something to wrap this up on. But I didn't. What's great about that midfield too, and I think we should consider it as a 2, because Jorginho does not get the credit he deserves. Spoiler alert: he is my underrated player of the Chelsea team.
Yeah, good point.
You can read on CBS Sports. He's very good at just, what's great is Jorginho kind of knows where to be, and it positions himself really well, and that allows Kante to do things in a more dynamic way. And we saw that in the first leg. It wasn't just winning the ball back. It was winning the ball back and then moving 20, 30 yards up the pitch. Didn't really have the final killer pass. But it's a thing of how it really works as a marriage of movement. And you see that when Kante goes forward, Jorginho will shuffle across and Rudiger will also feel confident enough to step forward. We saw this throughout the first leg, that Rudiger was theoretically the left centre-back, with on occasions a midfielder, because Kroos and Modric can't get close to him. He's got a nice burst of speed. So I will apologise to no one in my love of N'Golo Kante. I think he's been the best midfielder in the world for a very, very long time. But I think the joy is, one of the challenges Chelsea managers have all had is working out the right system. Lampard tried to put him at the base of midfield. You're not making the most of his skills going forward. Sarri actually, I think, had about the right idea, using him as more of a dynamic player, but Kante didn't quite like that. So Tuchel's got it. He's just got the midfield that works really, really nicely. And I think it's hard to score when you've got such a strong shield ahead of a really good defense. So Real Madrid are going to find this really hard. All
right, well, let's go with the predictions then. Jimmy Conrad, give me your final conclusion here. Are we seeing Chelsea in the final of the Champions League?
Yes, I think it's going to be, and in honor of Jose Mourinho, 0-0. I'm going for a tactical masterclass, and I don't think that either team's going to want to give up too much. I will add a caveat that I wouldn't be surprised if Sergio Ramos scored one late to put Real Madrid through. And I'd also add the caveat that potentially Chelsea could get one very, very late if and when Madrid start to push forward and have to expose themselves a little bit. And they've obviously got some speed to counter on the other side. That's why I think you guys should look for the under 2.5 goals on William Hill and maybe some fun exotics to go around it.
Yeah, I love that. James Benge, okay, give it to me.
Yeah, I had Chelsea winning 2-0. I think this will be a very similar game to the Atletico Madrid game. Chelsea will be 1-0 up. Madrid will have to chase it. And that's where Chelsea get their second goal. Let's say Mason Mount to score the first, and Hakim Ziyech. No, Emerson. Let's do Emerson again.
Wow.
Ooh, okay.
Look at Benge. Okay.
That'll be a good bet if we get Emerson, by the way.
How about you, Luis?
I'm going with a Chelsea win. I do believe that. I don't know why I'm being foolish, but I feel that there's going to be 3 goals here. Chelsea will win 2-1 with 3.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. I think I'm drinking too early today. But I do believe that maybe we'll see a little bit more, just because Real Madrid know they have to push, and Chelsea will probably take advantage of that. But amazingly, all three of us, well, not amazingly, but just amazing the fact that incredible, just Chelsea's narrative this season has been amazing. And they're a game away, 3 predictions away, and even more on reaching the Champions League final and joining their women's counterpart. It's kind of incredible. Any final thoughts on this game, Jimmy?
No, I'm really just excited for it. I'm curious to see who scores first, because obviously I think that will, if they do it all, because I think that will obviously unlock a few things one way or the other. And we'll see if Real Madrid still have the magic in this competition. I would never bet against them, even though I kind of am.
Yeah.
just forget I said that. Just stick with the bets that I said before. I'm going, that's my gut.
We've done that all season, haven't we? We've just written them down. But I think this is the one where Chelsea overtakes. James Benge, final thoughts.
Yeah, Luis, you and I, did we not predict that Chelsea might win this competition way back in the group stage?
We did. I didn't want to say it. James said it.
These guys are flexing.
I think we might also have predicted that, the manager would change.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, sorry. Thomas Tuchel has just joined the room.
Well, so that means that James Benge has to leave us because he's got to talk to Thomas Tuchel. Look at him. So
all right, cool. We'll see how it is, James Benge. Thomas Tuchel's better than us. We get it.
But boys, thank you so much. James, thank you.
Thank you.
Jimmy, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody. I want to thank Jimmy Conrad and James Benge for joining me today. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Qué Golazo Pod. Listen to us and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. Watch us on YouTube, youtube.com/Qué Golazo. We are also on cbssports.com. Have a great rest of your week.